Okay, so how's everybody doing? So this is sort of a little, maybe sort of an addendum in a way, like a composition addendum in terms of composing the scene. And for those of you that have been following along chronologically, you sort of know that I've been evolving and building and painting and composing the diorama from left to right. Because, I mean, initially it started out as a track laying exercise. I didn't want to throw it out. I built it from scrap and stuff I had around. And so I just want to bring it to full fruition and learn things along the way. So, like this particular scene originally was just a fence, right? I mean, there was nothing here but a cell tower. And it turns out that the footprint for the prototypical cell tower that I really want to do just won't fit in this area. So it was just sort of an ad hoc idea, just to fill space. And then, so I think I removed the cell tower from out of there, and then I just had a fence, right? And I didn't want like a 7-foot fence prototypically, because it just doesn't deal with the negative space of the horizon line. So I thought if I put a higher fence, like this is about 13 feet, then it would deal with that and cover that. But this was before I conceived of like the warehouse flat that goes in here, right? So, because I view the layout mostly at this level, or just a little bit higher. So that would have made sense. And then with the cell tower there, just standing alone with maybe just a little fence around it, or just the way it is, looks okay, right? It's got the vertical rise to it that I wanted and so forth. But things change, right? And so the way I like to do things, I like to evolve and adapt. So now when we, of course, designed and built this warehouse building flat, which I like, and by following the channel that, we had another version as well that I just put on hold that might get repurposed down this end. We'll talk about that later. Now the fence is looking a little bit too tall, right? So when I put the cell tower back in here, some of that goes away, that effect. It's not too bad, but it's getting a bit crowded. But I don't mind that really, right? Because it tricks the eye. The imagination looks at that and says, okay. But I still think the fence is a bit high. Now I might leave the height the way it is back here, but I like to cut it down like about a third just in front of the building to sort of trick the eye again into a more prototypical feel. Because you can see with the can here, and then I'll show you on another angle further to the right what I mean by that. Look, you just remove the outhouse and see it. You can see what I mean, right? Okay, so we're dealing with illusion here too. So I think if I cut down the fence, just the top here above this third rail, bring it down to about 8-9 feet, and then just in behind this tree, leave the standard height, which I think will be okay because it gets lost back here, and I don't want blue showing through. I think that might work. I think that's the revision I'm going to make there. And then in terms of color, this is going to be a very pale green, similar to this mauve building on the left. The pale green will go good with the mauve, and then it'll blend in or transition well with the green trees. And then with the sort of polarized glazing in the windows, which will be darker, I think will work well. And then with this very light sky blue background. Okay, so here's the shot further right down the track. And you see there, boy, that looks so much better than before, than just the cell tower, doesn't it? See the gate, how it's lower here, and then I'm going to leave this higher fence just to add some randomness to it. I like that because, again, right, like see the balance happening here. You have the lower fence, the higher, the lower gate, the higher fence in behind, the can with the open lid, you know, then the back of the building here, and then this one's a bit high. See, that's like, I'm happy with the way this corner's evolving, and I like this idea of looking through these textures and lattice work and so on to create depth. Okay, so just in closing then, for those of you that have been following along, you may or may not know that this was the second flat that I was working with the other one that we've decided to go with. So I didn't want to let this go to waste, so I'm going to repurpose it as a sort of office attachment to this building. And then in order to blend in this photograph, this is just the composite, I mean the color one, I'm going to build a model tree that'll be coming out of this planter here, and it'll help blend in this transition of the 3D to the 2D for this side on the road here. And then I'll do a similar treatment on the left side as well, just behind the grain elevator in here, because it's all trees back here anyway, like at the location of the prototype, but further back obviously. But yeah, and that should work there. The road's looking pretty good from this angle, I think. And when I get the color, I just had to do a bit of Photoshop work here when I get the color photo in there. And then what I'll do is I'll just cut the photo with a really sharp pointed razor knife and try to maintain some of this leaf structure all the way around, and so it'll just be the blue backdrop. So that'll blend in well right onto the backdrop. So yeah, okay, so thanks for tuning in, and I hope that you have a great day.